All right, good morning, folks. Welcome to Coffee and Crafts with John from ProCraps. Here we are. We're going to go and continue on the $1 Million March here. Let's do, we're on day, I think we're on day 2, right? We've won one day. Yeah, we won one day so far on the reset because we lost a couple times last month, right? So here we go. I'm going to keep doing this one, I think, with the 204, just because it works pretty good. And I don't want to confuse the matter. I could actually play Storm on this thing, right? But let's go with our smaller bankroll, $1,200. Let's go with the 204 across. Let's just do our basic little play here. I'll get it set up, and let's see. We'll get it set up, and let's see. Am I missing $10? I'm missing $10 somewhere. Yeah, there we go. All right, 204. There we go. All right, we're set. Bucks off. This will be our 204 slot machine play down here. And then I was going to do, like I said, Storm or something else in this one, but let's just do one thing at a time, I guess, right? There's 2 come out 7s in a row. And again, I will apologize to you all, as I did to the Daily Paycheck viewers. I got a cold, so my nose is a little stuffy and I'm sniffling a little bit, so I apologize for that. Here we are, point at 9. Let's make $200 if we can do it. We can't do it. We actually get burned out of the freaking gate with a 7. I'm going to leave the bets out here. I'll pay them off in a second here, okay? Just give me a second to get the next one. Another 7. That's 5 7s. That's 5 7s and 6 rolls, or 4 7s and 5 rolls. That's beautiful. All right, there we go. 4 1 5. All right, I'm going to drop $300, and I'm going to take $6 back. That's your 90. Geez, Lou. $96 back. 75. $96 back. There's your 204. Let's go. 10 hot or 10 easy. 10 easy. 50 for 1. There's $50. I love that. Nothing like a little 4-hit strategy to start you off in the morning, right? Another $50. We'll take 50. I'm going to grab a 5 out of my rack and take 4 change. That's 50 for 1 the second time. And again, I'm putting the money that we took off the table here in front. That'll be our slot machine bonus time play if we get some. Ace deuce, don't matter. All right, another 10. That's 3 10s. Boy, we should be trying to flip that thing, huh? 3 10s, another $50 for 1. And there's a 9. All right, that's going to be 4 $50 hits. That's perfect. Love it. There's $200. Back to the rack. That actually takes care of what we have out here. All right. Let's take what we have out here now and regress it down. So we'll take this off the shelf here. And I've got $96 right here. 75, 90. I'll take $5 off one of these bets. There's $96. Okay. Well, 96 across, and we'll play it out, and hopefully do a little bit better than we did in the garage today, which was an absolute disaster. All right, here we go. There's about 204, a little less than that. Actually, I'm going to make this right so I don't screw it up later. 50, 50, 15, and 15. I'm like $5 short. But there it is. All right, here we go. 96 across. Let's make it happen. All righty, let's go. Let's make $1 million. Let's make $1 million. Here's an 8. Fantastic. All right, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do tier pressure today on these to pump the bets up. So 8's going to pay 21. I'm going to bring it to 30. 6, and there's a couple of bucks back in the rack. There's an 8. That's fantastic. That pays 42. $42. Normally in this strategy, I'm looking for something to repeat, but the repeat in this case doesn't quite get me to where I need to be. So we will take another hit here if we can get it. Another 8. All right, $42. Now I'll take it back down. Let's do, I'll do 50 here for 8. Just to make it a little easier on the dealer because I'm out of whites over there. 50 for 8. All right, now I'll bring that 8 back down to $18. Reset the board basically. And off to the races we go. Off to the races. That's nice. We brought back $80. That's awesome. Another 8. Wow, look at the 8s. Look at the 8s coming. All right, same move. Same move. $21. We're going to go to 36. Who's texting me? Can you guys not hear me or something? All right, now. All right, here we go. Let's have a run. There's a 9. There's a 9. $21 on the 9. Full press to 35. There's the 7. Okay, that's fine. We made about $80 on that shooter, which is great. We got out of the hand and made $80. I have to be happy with that, right? Let's come back out with 204 again. All right, 10, 15, 15, and 10. There we go. There's our 204. There's the $100 that we made on that shooter. We actually made $106. That's awesome. Made 106 on that guy. Love it. Here we go. 204 again coming out. Let's have that same thing happen, right? 617. Now it's a 642. All right, here we go. Let's get our 4 and get out of here, right? Oh man, why are we doing this today? Every time, 205 for 1 to reset my bets, and we just got destroyed again. Two PSOs out of 3 shooters, man. Good freaking gravy. 314. Making $1 million, it turns out, is hard to do. I'm just putting it out there. It's a hard thing. That's 50 for 1 on that 5. Especially when you're going to go full right side, and this is a no regress. This is just a straight up, let's get it done kind of a strategy. There's another 50 for $1. Our next one's probably going to have to be 49 because I don't have any reds even to trade in there. There's another 5. 3 5s in a row. Wow, awesome. We'll do 49. All right, that's our 4, our third. We need one last one. There's the aces to get our $200 back. There's another 5. Boy, the 5 hit 4 times in that sequence. That's crazy. All right, there's $100. There's $200. Good, we did it. We did it. Let's regress down to 96 again. 75, 85, 95, 96. The rest of it just comes back. There's 100, which is fantastic. We need that badly. Back to the rack it goes. This over here is 100, 75. We need, there it is. There's $204. All right, we have our 204 for the next time, right there. I shall put that right here. And $2 in profit, 96 across. Let's make it happen. Let's have a good run. You know what's going to happen is when I get all this work to get it all set up, I'm going to have a 7 out of the gate because that's how I roll. Here we go. 96 across, point of 4, and an 8. All right. All right. 21. Looks like 36. There we go, $36. All right. 9. Sweet, that's 2. That pays 21. Goes to 35. Again, tier pressure, a little bit of aggressive play here. 7. Fuck, we got nothing out of it again. All right. All right. Not gonna get our million today, maybe, huh? I don't know. I like doing this every morning, but it can be a little frustrating because we don't get to do our regular stuff. You know what I'm saying? All right, reset the rack. Let's go. 4 point. 4's the point. Yeah, this takes too long. We lose out on our discussion, right? We lose out on things I want to talk about. There's 50 for 1. I made us transition and play the way I wanted to talk about playing today and just do it that way. I don't know. There's a 10 hard. That's another 50 for 1. I like this part of the strategy. I wish the storm today would have gave me more 50 for 1s than it did. It gave me like 3 all day, it seemed like. There's a 5, another 50 for 1. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Maybe what we'll do here, if we can get a 4th 1, if we can get our 4th hit, I have an idea. Let's get it. Hey, we got an 8. Sweet, 54. We got our $200 back. All right, that paid for itself, which is nice. That's $200 back in the rack, $200 out here in the felt. That means that we're even, right? There is 1,000, 1,100 in the rack plus the 100, 200 that's out here. That's our money plus $100 in profit, right? I'm gonna go wedge this thing down from here and see if we can't get out of this hand right now, right? There's a 4. So what happens is this: 4 is gonna hit. That's the point. That pays $50 for $1. I'm gonna pay it like this. We're gonna come out of it and reduce it down. So I'm gonna bring $100 right off the felt. There's my starting bankroll. I got $36 in profit. Okay, let's get a point and bring the rest of these things down, and we should be there. There's a 9. It was a 9. I rolled that. Sorry. All right, here we go. Just not a fucking 7. Come on, John. God. We always get like right there, right? 1 hit or 2 hits away from being where we got to be. I'm going to set these back up where they were, actually. We're just always like that close to it and just can't get the nail in the coffin, right? There's 204. There's 205. Let's do it again. Dollar change. Come on now. Come on. Making $1 million. Making $1 million on TV is hard to do. 617 on the come out. Hey, Rosie. There's a hard 10. What's your brother doing? Are you guys up to no good out there? Oh my God, come on. My heart can't do this anymore, I'm telling you. There's a 225. God, we'll take $21 back to the rack and reset our freaking bets and do it one more time. Buckeye, you're killing me here. This is fun to start the day with. You guys get to make fun of me, but damn it, I wanted to talk about the squeeze play today. I want to talk about the storm today. Another 7 out. Fuck! Come on. Ugh. Damn it. Sorry. I'm just pissed. Another 204 out the rack. 1, 2, 3. Ugh. Damn it. There's the 5. Come on. I'm just going to stay out here until all the money goes away, I think, today. There's a 4. There's $50. This is so brutal. Another 4. Nothing but PSOs all day. Garage and in here. 50 for 1. 9. Here's 50 for 1. We get out of this damn hand? Nope. Of course not. Why would you ever think we get out of a hand? All right, we're going to go to 160 across. I'm going to take, these are all losers. I'll set it up as 160 across. That's going to be our slot machine play. So we're going to drop out of here $150 plus 10. That's 160 out of our rack to set the bets. And this is it. We got $600 in the rack. If we don't win this here, then it's a fail. Right? Come out 7. Bucks off. And we're back to round 1 again. 6-4-10, or 5-4-9 rather. There's an 8. All right, $35. Looks like 60. Just gonna do a full press and get the hell out if we can do it, guys. 4 hits and out. Yo. Midnight. Oh my God. Come on. 6. All right, 35. Looks like 60. Give me a 6 or an 8 here. There we go. All right, $70. And back down. Kind of needed that. There's 135, 130 coming back. All right, we got out of the hand and paid for some bets, which is what we needed. Let's do it again. Midnight. It's going to half press here. There's a 10. That means $50. Half press. There is a 7 out. Okay, well, that's not going to get it done. All right, we're going to call it here. What do we have in the rack? 750. I got $760 in the rack. It's about half my rack. Lost about half today, just shit rolling and shit attitude and all that stuff. So there we go. I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to call this one a fail. We're going to jump back to month 2 now. That's all we can do. Jump back to month 2, right? You're sort of stuck there, right? There it goes. All right, that was a bummer. That was a huge bummer, but here we go. Let's see. Let me get up to here. All right, now you can see me. Good morning. I'm sorry. I feel like crap today. I didn't sleep but 4 hours all weekend. I don't think I was up with this damn cold. So my attitude's not great, and I apologize for that. But we failed this morning, and again, we're just running out this $1 million challenge, and we're doing the same thing. It's at 204 across, 4 hits, and play the slot machine thing, and that's it. I'm going to try and run that strategy through its course. It's a good way for me to test that strategy out. From Jacob from Wager Me This. It's his concoction. So we're going to test that method, that style of play through this whole $1 million challenge, right? I may at some point change it up, but for now, it's a nice, easy way to come out here and try it. If you're going to PSO like that with these random throws, what are you going to do, right? There's nothing you can do about it, but that's 4 PSOs today and 5-6 shooters. That's unheard of. Like, not unheard of, but that's a shame when that kind of thing happens. So, so there we go. And I think, correct, you're saying adjusting to conditions is critical. And again, I will tell all of you guys, right? And I know that Gargoyle will disagree with me here, but I played enough craps over the course of 30 years to know that you cannot, none of you are good enough. Not one of you is good enough to predict what's going to happen on a craps table. Not one of you. When you're hucking and chucking and random rolling, my video is super blurry today for some reason. There is 0 chance that you can tell what's going to happen. 0 chance. You have no idea what's going to happen. So saying to me that you should switch to XYZ, you should change to you can't do that, right? If you're shooting the dice and you're causing a pocket, or you're with shooters who are causing pockets, great, go for it. But when you're just doing this crap here, like I'm doing on this morning show here, you cannot predict what's going to happen. So adjusting to the conditions of the table is a bunch of horse shit. You cannot do it. I don't care who you are. Nobody can adjust to the tables, but other than walking away when it goes bad. If it's going bad for you, you're losing more money than you want to lose, then you get out of there. You ain't adjusting to the table. Either you're going to play dark because you're predisposed to do that. You're going to play light because you're predisposed to play that. You're going to play hybrid because you're predisposed to play that. You're going to take your lumps or get your wins. That's it. You can do smart things with your money when it's out there, but you cannot and you will not be able to predict what's coming. And adjusting to the table is horse shit. I don't care who you are. That's just not possible. It's not possible. I know that's not what you're talking about. I'm just saying I get this all the time. And that it's an impossibility. Now, let's talk about the storm, because this is the thing that we started with today in the garage. So the storm, as you know, I don't think this next screen shows you what it is. Hold on, let me see if it does. It doesn't really show what it is. We're starting with a $50 DP and 204 across, and we're laying a bunch of odds, and we're looking for two hits. Now, we talked in this morning, Darkside and I were kind of bantering back and forth a little bit about ways to play this thing. Now, Today I played it almost to the letter of the way it was originally designed. And as you know, during Mulligan week, that's what I do, right? Mulligan week is let's just play it out the exact way, and then we'll make some adjustments as we go. So I think you had some good adjustments to make, but today wasn't the day for it. Today was the day to let's just see the strategy play it out, right? It's a don't pass with a load of odds that covers your cross bets for 2 hits and down. 2 hits and regress from the outside in. That's the whole strategy, and it works great. When it worked today, and it did work twice, we had our 2 hits, and we got from 204 with the don't down to 64 across like we were trying to do. And it works. That brings you back like $35 in profit, and you're all set to go. The problem is when it doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, you're either getting whacked on the come-outs like I was, or you're buckshot in your points, which we did that twice too. In those cases, the recovery plan is where I think we have to lean into. And I think there's 2 things to look at on this thing. One is the level of odds, right? Should the odds be enough to cover your bets up top? Here's the questions for you. So I want you to think about this, and everybody in chat, answer me here. Should the odds on the storm be enough to cover your bets, or should the odds in the storm be enough to cover your bets plus $50? Because remember, all the box numbers win $50, right? Should the odds also win you $50? That's a question, because that means more juice out there on the odds. The second question to answer is, should it be a 2-roll strategy or a 2-hit strategy? As it's currently set up, as it was created by Greg and Dice DGen, 2-hit strategy, not a 2-roll strategy. It's 2 box hits. Box hit 1, 4, and 10 come down. Box hit 2, the rest comes down. You're out with profit. If it's a 2-hit strategy, we have to add in the horn or a craps check, which lowers the $50 down to like $40, right? So your profit gets lowered, but you're out in 2 hits instead of 2 rolls. Today, that would have been a great move because we had so many horn numbers today. That's your second question. So tomorrow's, and the other thing we can do too, obviously, is going to be laying on the come out, right? So that's going to be your questions for you in chat. Adjustments to be made. 1, do we lay on the come out to save that don't? That's question 1. Question 2, does the don't pass odds need to be enough to cover, or should they be enough to cover plus 50? And that's the second question. And the third question is, do we add a horn to it? Now, I can do each of those things tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We can try a different piece of it each day and see what we like. Again, it's play around with the storm week. But I ran it today as originally written. That's how we ran it today. So Jen says just enough to cover. I would say David Peak says 2 actual hits, not 2 rolls. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know what Darksider said in the garage. He wanted me to do 2 rolls only, right? Yeah, I always missed. It happened to me a lot. I missed the comments above, but when I see stuff like that, I get really triggered because I hate when people say you got to adjust to what the conditions are. It just drives me nuts when I hear that stuff. Anyway, talk to me about what you want to see with the storm, or at least think about it. Put it in chat. Maybe put storm : in your chat. What you want to see, because there's all those things can happen. We can lay the come out. We can grab a craps check for 2 hits, for 2 rolls and out. We can make the don't pass odds big enough to win the same thing that the box numbers win, a net win of $50 on every single bet that's out there. All things we need to think about with this thing, right? Yeah. So I want to know what I did wrong, DJ. What is different? Besides the bet level, I made the bet levels a little higher. What's different though? Are you coming down on 2 hits every single time? That's the question I've got. Because the original one that Greg and I were working with, when he showed me the first time, it was 2 hits, not 2 rolls. When we did the other one, when we did the one that was what do we call that thing? Whatever it was called, where you come down from the outside over 3 hits, we did the what do you call it? We did the craps check to force it to be number of rolls. So tell me what you want me to do, and we'll get it on. If I got it wrong, we can actually email later on. So just think through it. If I didn't get it right, I didn't get it right. We have 4 days to get it right. We have 4 days to get the perfect storm. Today, though, I'll tell you what. It doesn't matter what we did today. I buckshotted the point 3 times today, which is going to hurt no matter what happens. So can't do that and keep going. All right, what's next for us? Somebody asked me last week about this, and when we were at Casino Quest, David showed us the Squeeze Play, and somebody else said, well, the Lagerman's better than the Squeeze Play. Yeah, we love this. Well, let's see what happens with it. But anyway, somebody said the Lagerman's better than a Squeeze Play, and to me, they're both kind of the same thing. But the Lagerman's got this extra little bonus deal on the 4 and 10, and you know we're always trying to get out of these hands quick, right? It's always trying to get away from the danger as fast as you can. So the Storm, obviously, right? Two hits or 2 rolls, whatever it is, to get out of the hand as fast as you can. So you're playing whatever you're playing for with no risk. That's the idea. Squeeze Play, the same thing. The problem with the Squeeze Play, as you'll see, actually, let's go to the table. The Squeeze Play, I'm going to go to this view, I think. Hold on. Can you see this? There we go. The Squeeze Play, I have an issue with it, and I told David this, and I know, you know, playing enough to know that this is a danger move, and I'm going to do it at the 220 level, even though. Well, let's do it at 110. Let's do it at 110 because most of us don't have enough money to go out there 220 every single time. If you do it at 110, you're on the inside. Just roll for a point here. We get a point of 6. Okay, we're not on the pass line, so it doesn't matter. You're on a point of 6. The first roll we get is going to be a 5. It pays $35. I'll pay it here. 35. Now, what you do from this point forward is probably drop a nickel out of your rack and get the 4 and 10 for $20 each. Now, and again, you could leave it at 15, but let's go to the nickel, make them $20 each. Okay. Now you're in a position where after one inside hit, if we got a 4, that's great. It pays $40 minus the VIG. Now you're out. Okay. You can come out of this thing and go to whatever level you're looking to go to, probably the next level down, 75, 95, let's take 96. And what are you out of the hand for? You were out there at 160 or 110. There's 75, $94, right? You're out again, for 96 across, okay? You lowered your level from 110 inside to 96 across, and you brought back almost what you started with. You're out of this hand for, again, 75, 85, $94. You start with 110. So you're out of this thing for like $15, okay? You're in it for $15. So that's the Lagerman's got 2 problems, or the Squeeze Play has 2 problems to me. One problem is you're only on the inside. Okay, remember, we restart up, you're only here on the inside, which means you're giving up the horn, obviously, and you're giving up the 4 and 10. You're giving up 12 numbers. Right, we know this, about 35% of the time, this fails. You fail to get your 2 inside hits. Even to get 1 is tough. So that's problem 1 is that. Problem 2 is, once you've spread out to the 4 and 10, and you get, in our case, we got the best one. We got actually the biggest payment we could get. You're still upside down about $15 when you're all the way across. So it's 2 hits starting from an inside position, and you're still upside down in the hand, which I don't love. I don't love that part of the Lagerman. Now, or the Squeeze Play. The Lagerman, on the other hand, does it a little bit differently. And again, not quite at the same level, but we can do it like that. And I'll show you how the Lagerman works. And I think from a budgeting perspective, this might be a better play for most of you. This goes with 88 inside. And $10 on the 4 and 10. So you start out with an across bet. That way you're not missing anything, okay? It's the same basic principle. So this last time we caught a 6 with a 5 rather than the 4. On the Lagerman, you take that 5, that pays $28, okay? $28. And you have your choice with this is to either do an inside press, right? Press them all on the inside, or you can press the 4 and 10 up by $10 each and get them up to level. Either way. But the idea, again, let's say we did an inside press. Let's say we did this inside press. We would have $6 left. We would hit the 4 for $18. Let's do that. For $18. And then you come down, again, in this case, to 64 across. This one comes down a little farther. You start at 88 inside, you go to 64 across. And how does that look in your rack now? Let's take a look at where we ended up, because that's a 2-hit strategy also. You have all the numbers covered, which is awful nice to have all the numbers covered. And again, you're 88, 98, 108 across. That's what that cost you. 88, 108. Where did we get coming back? 75, 80, 90, 100. So you're $8 in the hand and you're 64 across. So the Lagerman also gets you across, but you're upside down still a little bit. Okay. Now, if you had taken the win and spread it to here instead of spread it on the inside, the 4 becomes a little more juicy, right? So there's 2 ways that Casino Quest kind of promotes as ways to get out of the hand relatively quickly, but even though you get to your level, you're still not totally safe. You follow me? Now, the Storm, as played this morning, I'm going to show you the difference there, because that one, again, there's more money involved for sure. But let's say our point was 6, like it has been, right? Let's go out Storm levels. Okay, we'll do the 10 there, 42 on the 8, and 35 on the 5. They all pay 50 for 1 in this case. And if you wanted to say, screw it, we're going to do the whole, the whole across thing. It's 204 across, which is more. 204 across is more than the 108, and it's also more than the 110 we start with in the other strategy. So I understand that there's more there, okay? But the goal of this thing, the goal of the pull down is this, $50 and down, okay? You could leave them naked or take them out like so. You're still bringing money back. From 204 on the first roll, your risk on roll 2 becomes 204 less 80, whatever that is, 120, right? Now you're at 120 at risk. The second roll, if you catch an inside number, again, it's $50. And when everything comes down, you're out of the hand, but you also locked up. There's 100. There's 205. That's your 204 across. And you're $40 to the good and 64 across. Technically speaking, you're $100 in profit. Okay. That's a little higher juice at the beginning, but when it works out, you're out with profit and you're playing with opportunity. That's the idea behind the Storm, or anything that does that sort of a regression as you go, where you reduce the risk on hit 1, eliminate the risk on hit 2, and you're out playing for nothing. That's the idea behind that style of play. Again, we're not doing that with the Jacob thing in the morning. We're just going 50-50-50, trying to get a miracle, right? But this way versus the inside plays, right, leaves you with opportunity and profit versus opportunity and still being upside down on roll 3. And that's the difference between the inside spreads and even the Lagerman, which is still an inside spread, but you get a little bit of love on the outside. How you play that thing, I think, is interesting. And I want to just compare and contrast to you the styles of play. And the reason why we chose the Storm for this week, everybody loves the Storm. It got most of the votes. I like it a lot too. I like this aspect of it. I like the aspect of having opportunity to go after a roll, after a hard shooter, or hot shooter rather, in just a couple of hits. Now, tomorrow we'll talk about adding in either an any craps bet or something else to this whole thing. But compare and contrast, right? Being across but upside down versus being across and in profit. I would choose being across and in profit. That's the way I would choose my life to be that way. Although the initial outlay is a lot more, right? We know that after one hit, the first $80 that comes back, your risk level is down. You're down to 120 in risk, which is about what the other guys are at risk on that same thing. If you think about that, right? The Lagerman was out there for 140. The Squeeze Play's out there for 110. You're out there now for 120, and you're working your way out. When that next hit comes, you're completely out. That's the comparison between those three strategies. I think this outside-in regression, I think I like a lot better, pardon me, than hoping for an inside play and never getting it. You get the inside play and never get it. That's more soul-crushing, I think, than losing in a cross bet. Not as soul crushing as like this morning, where I had the 204 set up and hit nothing but horns. That one shooter this morning, if you missed it in the garage, I had a point set and then 5 horn numbers, and then we hit the point. Buckshot at the point after 5 hits. If you're in the horn on that one, you're probably out of money. So, or out in the money. So, anyway, that's the comparison. I want you to think about when you watch people run strategies out. You've got to always look at what your total risk is. And again, if you're going to play the storm, or not the storm, if you're going to play the squeeze play, and you're at 110, which is the smallest way you can really play it legitimately. I guess you could do it at $88, but that's even so. 110 at risk, 12 numbers that don't win for you, 6 numbers that beat you. Okay, think about that. You got half the board covered, but you got half the board not covered, and you're wasting rolls. If you add in the 4 and 10 like the Lagerman does, and you reduce in here, you're 88 inside. Let's get that set. And you're 88 inside, 98, 108. Again, you're still at the full 108 at risk for 2 hits. And if the 4 or 10 get hit, they're nice, but they don't get you enough to get yourself where you need to be because they're at the lowest level possible. So this one here, you're going to be at 108 risk the whole time too, versus the 204. After that first roll, you're at 120 in risk. You actually reduce your risk down to where these guys already are, but you're already moving through it. So you got to look at the end goal. To me, it's about where you end up. And in one way, you end up within a cross bet paid for with profit. In 2 ways, you end up with a cross bet that's not quite paid for. And I think that's where the difference lies. If you're going to do a regression type of thing or evaluate for yourself in a regression type of thing, I think that's where you got to start with is where do I end up in the end when it all works out for me, right? If we happen to get the miracle roll, and again, miracle roll, 2 shots shouldn't be a miracle, but it kind of is. 2 hits being a miracle, where do you end up? If you're still upside down after your 2 hits, I think you got something wrong, right? That's when I look at the math on those things. I told David this too. I'm like, the math on that thing feels wrong because after 2 hits, if it's legitimately a 2-hit strategy, let me come back over here. If it's a legit 2-hit strategy and you're 2 hits and you're upside down, there's something wrong with that math to me. If I'm taking 2 hits and out, I'm taking 2 hits and I'm freaking out, right? That's why I like the storm better, or the straight up 204 regression better. So, for what it's worth, that's where I am. Are you talking to me, James, or Dark? Sorry, I'm just talking to him. All right. What else is going on? Let's go check. I'm sorry, I'm starting to lose it here. I'm getting a little foggy from talking so much. I'm getting like a little lightheaded. So I'm gonna check questions, and then we're gonna run quickly here. What did the PCs say? Let's see. The PCs are saying to me, oh my God, look at all the comments here. You can at least have a chance with Storm. I've studied it. Yeah, Darksider, I use yours or will lose. Again, email. You have my email. Email me the exact rules around what you're doing with it. Again, there's a lot to it, right? Things that you suggested this morning are not the storm. They're your adjustments to the original. So give me your adjustments to the original, and I'll fold those in all week long. Like I said, I'm happy to fold in the adjustments all week. There you go, Cajun Craps. I agree with you that Make a Million should be a separate show. You're right, because some days, man, that morning run takes 15, 20 minutes, and it takes me out of rhythm, right? I can't do this stuff that I want to do. So I'm starting to believe I got to go a different route there. I thought it was going to be good because, if it can be quick, it can be interesting, but if it's not quick, it ain't interesting. And that's a problem. So, all right. Let's see. 2PC, it's not what's going to happen. It's what is happening. But again, what is happening happened. It's not happening now. You got to remember that. Like I can't state enough, my thoughts on that. I've said it a billion times, and you and I will never agree on that part of it, which is okay. Building in rules around, if I lose a don't pass X number of times, stop going to the don't. If I build rules around, if this happened to me 3 times, a bankroll decision is don't put more money at risk on the same thing that's getting beat. Fine, I'm with you there. But I'm not about to say I read the table and it's cold and therefore I'm going to do this. That's not a thing. And I'll fight you on that. I'll never go down that road with anybody unless you're actually shooting the dice and making things happen. That's just where I land on it. And again, you can build rules in around that stuff that make sense, right? Lose a don't pass, come out. Lose a don't pass, come out. Get off the don't. In your case, you might say wait for the next shooter. Cool. That's all well and good. In the morning, I'm the only shooter, so it isn't like the next person's going to have any different. In our case, anything different's going to happen. If I'm making something happen, it isn't like the dice are going to move around the table and go to a different person. It's always me, right? So I don't feel like me changing the dice out or changing whatever is going to make any difference. And I think I don't want to get distracted by that stuff. So that's why I get so janked up. You're saying lay the 6 and 8 on the come outs and hop the 6s and 8s for $2. To get out. You're saying to get out on the first one. I could kind of see that, but boy, that's a big bleed. It ends up being a bleed. Today I had 3 points of 6, which would have beat those things, right? And I buckshotted it twice. Like these things sound great until you roll opposite of what you're saying. But I get your point. Lay something, hop it if you want to, get yourself out, get the don't pass bet out. Is the critical piece here, right? Not getting beat on the come out is a big thing. $50 don'ts are easy to save. They really kind of are. It's the best value. I agree. I'm not a big lay the 4 and 10 guy, and we've talked about that before. Laying the 6 and 8 are, I would say, the better way to do it. I agree with you. But again, over time, the lay 6 and 8 plus the hops, they'll bleed you out just as bad as the losing the don't pass well. It'll all end up being the same in the end. Let's see. Arcades, I'm new. You're new here. Good. You get to hear me swearing. Welcome. I got a little pissed off this morning. I'm sorry about that, but not my best self today. So anyway, that's live TV for you. All this is real, by the way. I get mad at people in chat. I get mad at my rolling. It's all good. I'm the nicest person on the planet, but I do get into it sometimes. What else do we have? We'll talk about this too. I am with you here, believe it or not. I'm with you here. Remember how we talk about progressive betting, right? I am a full believer in that. If you're in the middle of something, right? I bet the thing that's happening, or I jump away from it as it's happening. That's not the same as reading the table. There's a difference there, right? It's like we have this bad sequence, and if I'm on the don't, I assume the bad sequence keeps happening, right? So I progressively bet what's happening. That's not the same as reading the table. That's just saying, hey, a wave started. I'm betting the wave till the wave goes away, or I'm running from the wave until the wave repeals back to the ocean. It's a different mindset. But I understand what you're saying, and I get you there. Well, again, if you set, the 6 and 8 as your lay bets, right, on the come out, and the hops, and I set a point of 6 and I set a point of 8, and then I buckshot them later on anyway. It's the same. It is a bleed. Everything is a bleed. If there was a perfect way to do this, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But when you're going to lose $30 on the 6 plus the hops, you're losing $39 or $36, whatever, or $34, whatever it is, on the come out roll on the point of 6. I buckshot the 6 and I'm down on the don't. I've lost my don't pass plus the $30. Versus, you're right, losing the 7 or 11 on the come out, I lose 50 instead of 34. That's going to happen less often though. So I'm not arguing with you. I just saying over time, those will bleed out more so than the straight don't will bleed out. Over time, combining a hop and a lay will bleed you more money than the straight don't will. It just will. In those moments at the table, maybe not. Maybe then the moment at the table, that was the smartest thing you could have done. And you dodged the 6 and 8, and you're great all day long. But remember, Every time it's not a 6 or 8, you're giving up $4. That's a bleed. That is a definition of a bleed. You're throwing $4 away every time it's not a 6 or an 8. So just, intellectual honesty. I'm not poo-pooing what you're saying that's wrong. I'm just saying it is a bleed. And that's the truth. All right, I gotta go. I gotta take some medicine. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. And thanks for putting up with my shit today. My final words are, as always, I appreciate all of it. Like, I love the debate. I wish you could be on live and we could have this conversation verbally instead of me responding to a text that's 25 seconds old. You know what I'm saying? Or a message that's older. There's truth in all of this. And I think you all have to realize that the math don't lie, right? Over time, I'm right. You look at 1,000 rolls, 10,000 rolls, I'm right. The don't pass, flat don't pass with unprotected don't pass is better than a don't pass protected by lay bets. 100%. You can run that out. 2 players back to back. The guy that's going naked on the don't pass will always beat the guy that's trying to lay bets to protect it. Always. Always, 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 that's the case. However, in the 85 rolls that you're at a table for, that may not be the case. You may be there in a perfect place where the lay bets are the best thing you could do, right? And in the short windows of time, and that's what Dark Side is saying, in the short windows of time, sometimes the lay bet and the hop or whatever you're doing to cover yourself in that moment can be the best decision you can ever make. No dispute there. Okay. Short window versus long window, 2 different things. However, your life is a long window. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. All right. I got to get out of here. I will see you in the morning. Hopefully we have a better day in both sessions tomorrow. And I will consider what I think was Cajun Crapstead said. Yes. Cajun Crapstead said, maybe the $1 Million Challenge is a separate show. Maybe it is. I don't know. I like it part of the show, but I wish it didn't take so long sometimes. And it can set me up to be in a bad mood. We don't want that. So, all right. Love y'all. God bless every one of you. I will see you tomorrow morning, and have a great rest of your Monday, and hopefully have a good week all as well. Bye.